Right now, there is an egg sitting in your refrigerator, and that single egg might be the most misunderstood food in human history. For decades, doctors told you to avoid it. Your grandmother warned you about cholesterol. Health organizations put strict limits on how many you could eat, but here is what nobody told you. Everything you learned about eggs was based on flawed science from the 1960s. That outdated research created a fear that lasted over 50 years. Meanwhile, new studies involving hundreds of thousands of people have completely changed what we know. The results are not just surprising, they are genuinely shocking. Some researchers found that people who ate eggs regularly had better health markers than those who avoided them. Others discovered that the cholesterol in eggs behaves nothing like we thought. And one massive study tracked over 500,000 people and found something that will make you question everything. In the next few minutes, you are going to learn the real truth about eggs. Not the marketing claims, not the old myths, the actual peer-reviewed science that most people have never heard. You will discover exactly how many eggs you can safely eat per day based on the latest research. You will learn which preparation methods unlock the most nutrition, and you will understand why timing matters more than you ever imagined. But the most important truth comes at the end. A breakthrough discovery from 2024 research involving massive population studies revealed something about eggs and longevity that genuinely surprised the scientific community. This single finding could completely transform how you view your morning breakfast. Before we begin, let us know in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We read and reply to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 7, the cholesterol myth has finally been debunked. Let us start with the biggest lie you were ever told about eggs. For over 5 decades, health authorities warned that eating eggs would raise your cholesterol and destroy your heart. This belief became so deeply embedded that people genuinely feared eating more than 2 or 3 eggs per week. Some avoided eggs entirely. But this fear was built on a fundamental misunderstanding of how your body actually works. The original cholesterol hypothesis came from studies in the 1960s that made a critical error. Researchers fed pure cholesterol to rabbits and watched their arteries clog. They then assumed the same thing would happen in humans, but rabbits are herbivores. Their bodies handle dietary cholesterol completely differently than ours. When you eat cholesterol, your liver responds by producing less of its own. Your body has a built-in regulation system that most early researchers completely overlooked. A landmark meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reviewed 40 studies involving over 300,000 participants. The researchers wanted to finally settle the egg debate once and for all. What they found shocked the medical community. There was no significant association between egg consumption and heart disease risk in healthy individuals. Let me say that again because it matters. No significant association. The dietary cholesterol in eggs had minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels for most people. Another study, published in the journal Heart, followed over 400,000 participants in China for nearly a decade. People who ate eggs daily had an 18% lower risk of cardiovascular death compared to those who rarely ate eggs. That is not a small difference. That is a meaningful reduction in mortality risk. Now, here is the practical application. For most healthy adults, the dietary guidelines have removed the previous limit of 300 milligrams of cholesterol per day. One large egg contains about 186 milligrams of cholesterol. This means eating 1 to 3 eggs daily falls well within safe parameters for the majority of people. However, you should know that about 25 to 30% of the population are hyperresponders. These individuals see more significant cholesterol increases from dietary sources. If you have familial hypercholesterolemia or existing heart disease, you should work with your doctor to determine your personal limit. The preparation method also matters for cholesterol impact. Frying eggs in butter adds saturated fat that can affect your lipid levels more than the egg itself. Poaching or boiling eggs keeps the cholesterol conversation focused only on the egg. This simple switch preserves all the benefits while minimizing any potential concerns. Now let us move to a truth that your bones desperately need to hear. Number 6, eggs are a hidden powerhouse for bone health. Most people think about calcium when they consider bone health. They reach for dairy products and supplements, but there is another nutrient that bones desperately require, and eggs deliver it in abundance. Vitamin D works as the master key that unlocks calcium absorption. Without adequate vitamin D, you can consume all the calcium in the world and still develop weak bones. Your intestines simply cannot absorb calcium efficiently without this crucial vitamin. Eggs are one of the few foods that naturally contain vitamin D. One large egg provides about 6% of your daily requirement. This might seem small until you realize how rare natural vitamin D sources actually are. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that regular egg consumption was associated with significantly higher vitamin D status in participants. The researchers tracked dietary patterns and blood levels across diverse populations. Those who included eggs regularly maintained better vitamin D levels throughout the year. This becomes especially important during winter months when sunlight exposure drops dramatically. Your skin produces vitamin D from sunlight, but many people become deficient between October and March. Eggs provide a reliable dietary source during these critical months. The vitamin D in eggs is found almost entirely in the yolk. This is crucial information because many people discard yolks to reduce calories or avoid cholesterol. When you throw away the yolk, you throw away the vitamin D. You also lose the vitamin K2 that eggs provide. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into your bones and teeth rather than your arteries. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adequate K2 intake reduced fracture risk by up to 80% in some populations. Eggs contain both nutrients working together in perfect synergy. To maximize bone benefits from eggs, you should eat the whole egg. Consume them with a source of fat to enhance vitamin D absorption. This happens naturally when you cook eggs in olive oil or serve them with avocado. The fat-soluble vitamins need dietary fat to cross into your bloodstream efficiently. Eating eggs with leafy greens adds calcium to the meal, creating a complete bone-building combination. The next truth reveals something happening in your brain right now. Number 5, your brain requires what eggs provide daily. Inside your skull, there is a constant conversation happening between billions of neurons. These brain cells communicate through chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. One of the most important is acetylcholine. This neurotransmitter controls memory, learning, attention, and muscle control. To produce acetylcholine, your brain needs a nutrient called choline, and most people are severely deficient without knowing it. The National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found that 90% of Americans fail to meet the adequate intake for choline. This is a staggering number with serious implications. Your brain is literally starving for a nutrient that eggs provide in abundance. One large egg contains about 147 milliliters of choline. This represents 27% of the daily adequate intake for women and 22% for men. No other common food comes close to this concentration. You would need to eat 3 cups of broccoli to match the choline in a single egg. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 1,500 adults for several years. Researchers measured choline intake and cognitive function over time. Those with higher choline consumption showed better memory performance and slower cognitive decline. The association remained significant even after controlling for other lifestyle factors. Another study looked at choline intake during pregnancy. Mothers who consumed adequate choline had children with better memory and attention scores at age 7. The effects of choline on brain development begin before birth and continue throughout life. Like vitamin D, choline concentrates almost entirely in the egg yolk. The white contains virtually none. This provides another compelling reason to eat whole eggs rather than just whites. To optimize brain benefits, you should eat eggs consistently rather than sporadically. Your brain uses choline continuously for neurotransmitter production. One study found that steady daily intake supported better cognitive outcomes than irregular consumption patterns. Combining eggs with foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids enhances the brain protective effects. Salmon, walnuts, or flax seeds alongside your eggs create a comprehensive brain nutrition strategy. Speaking of nutrition, the next truth changes everything about protein. Number 4, eggs deliver the highest quality protein known to science. Protein quality is not just about quantity. Scientists measure something called biological value to determine how efficiently your body can actually use the protein you eat. The scale goes from 0 to 100. Eggs score 100. They are literally the gold standard against which all other proteins are measured. This perfect score means your body can convert nearly every gram of egg protein into usable tissue. Compare this to beef at 80, chicken at 79, and plant proteins ranging from 50 to 70. When you eat an egg, almost nothing goes to waste. One large egg contains about 6 grams of complete protein. Complete means it contains all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your body requires. Your muscles, organs, immune cells, and enzymes are all built from these amino acid building blocks. A study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition compared muscle protein synthesis after consuming whole eggs versus egg whites. Despite equal protein content, whole eggs stimulated muscle building 40% more effectively. The researchers concluded that nutrients in the yolk enhanced protein utilization beyond the white alone. This finding has massive implications for anyone trying to build or maintain muscle. For older adults, this becomes especially critical. Age-related muscle loss, called sarcopenia, affects millions of people over 50. Adequate high-quality protein intake can slow or prevent this decline. Eggs provide accessible, affordable, easily digestible protein that aging digestive systems can handle efficiently. To maximize protein benefits, you should distribute egg consumption throughout the day rather than eating all your eggs at once. Research shows that spreading protein intake across meals supports better muscle synthesis than consuming large amounts at single sittings. 2 eggs at breakfast and 1 at lunch outperforms 3 eggs at breakfast alone. Cooking method affects protein availability. Lightly cooked eggs provide the most bioavailable protein. Raw eggs contain avidin, which binds to biotin and reduces nutrient absorption. Fully cooking deactivates avidin while preserving protein quality. The next truth protects something you use every single day. Number 3. Eggs contain rare nutrients that save your eyesight. Right now, light is entering your eyes and hitting a small area called the macula. This region of your retina handles central vision, allowing you to read these words and recognize faces. Age-related macular degeneration is the leading cause of vision loss in adults over 50, and eggs contain 2 powerful nutrients that specifically protect this vulnerable area. Lutein and zeaxanthin are carotenoids that concentrate in the macula. They act as natural sunglasses, filtering harmful blue light before it can damage delicate photoreceptors. They also function as antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals that accumulate from daily light exposure. One large egg yolk contains about 250 micrograms of lutein and zeaxanthin. This seems modest compared to leafy greens, which contain much higher amounts. But here is what makes eggs special. The absorption rate from eggs dramatically exceeds that from vegetables. A study in the Journal of Nutrition compared lutein absorption from eggs versus spinach. Participants absorbed lutein from eggs 3 times more efficiently than from spinach. The fat in egg yolks enhances carotenoid bioavailability significantly. Eating a salad with a boiled egg increases your absorption of vegetable carotenoids as well. Another study published in Clinical Nutrition followed over 100,000 participants for 25 years. Higher egg consumption was associated with reduced risk of age-related macular degeneration. The protective effect was dose-dependent, meaning more eggs provided more protection up to a reasonable limit. The deep orange color of quality egg yolks indicates higher carotenoid content. Pasture-raised eggs from hens that eat insects and plants contain significantly more lutein and zeaxanthin than conventional eggs. One study found 3 to 6 times higher levels in pasture-raised varieties. To protect your vision with eggs, choose eggs with dark orange yolks when possible. Eat the whole yolk since carotenoids concentrate there. Cook eggs gently because excessive heat can degrade some carotenoids. Pair eggs with other colorful vegetables to multiply the protective effects across your entire meal. Now we reach a truth that affects your daily energy levels. Number 2, eggs stabilize blood sugar better than most foods. Every time you eat, your blood sugar rises. How quickly and how high depends entirely on what you consume. Foods that spike blood sugar rapidly create an energy roller coaster. You feel energized briefly, then crash hard. This cycle drives hunger, cravings, and long-term metabolic problems. Eggs produce almost no blood sugar response at all. They have a glycemic index of essentially 0. When you start your day with eggs instead of cereal, toast, or pastries, you avoid the morning spike and crash that leaves most people reaching for snacks by 10 p.m. A study published in the International Journal of Obesity compared egg breakfast to bagel breakfast with identical calories. Participants who ate eggs felt fuller for longer and consumed fewer calories throughout the day. Over 8 weeks, the egg group lost 65% more weight than the bagel group. The protein and fat in eggs slow gastric emptying. Food stays in your stomach longer, releasing nutrients gradually rather than all at once. This sustained digestion keeps blood sugar stable for hours after eating. You experience steady energy rather than peaks and valleys. For people with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this effect becomes even more important. A randomized control trial in the British Journal of Nutrition had diabetic participants eat either 2 eggs or oatmeal for breakfast daily for 5 weeks. The egg group showed improved fasting, blood sugar, and better hemoglobin A1C levels. Their long-term blood sugar control actually improved from eating eggs regularly. The satiety effect of eggs extends beyond blood sugar. Eggs trigger release of peptide YY and GLP-1, hormones that signal fullness to your brain. This hormonal response helps regulate appetite naturally without conscious restriction. To optimize blood sugar benefits, eat eggs earlier in the day when insulin sensitivity peaks. Combine eggs with non-starchy vegetables rather than bread or potatoes. Adding fiber from vegetables slows digestion even further and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Avoid adding sugary condiments like ketchup that counteract the blood sugar stabilizing effects. Finally, we arrive at the most important truth of all, the number 1. The optimal number of eggs for longevity has been discovered. This is what you have been waiting for. After reviewing all the benefits eggs provide, the crucial question remains: how many eggs can you actually eat per day without risking your health? And is there a sweet spot that maximizes benefits? In 2024, one of the largest studies ever conducted on egg consumption and mortality provided answers. Researchers analyzed data from over 500,000 participants across multiple countries. They tracked egg consumption and health outcomes for over 16 years on average. What they found creates a clear picture of optimal egg intake. Eating 1 to 3 eggs per day was not associated with increased mortality from any cause. In some analyses, moderate egg consumption was actually linked to reduced mortality risk. The cardiovascular fears that haunted eggs for decades simply did not materialize in this massive population study, but the research revealed something even more specific. The data suggested a potential sweet spot around 1 egg per day for the general population. At this level, participants received meaningful nutritional benefits without any detectable increase in health risks. For most adults, this represents a safe and beneficial daily practice. However, the study also examined higher intakes. Eating more than 3 eggs daily showed mixed results depending on individual factors. People with diabetes showed slightly different responses than healthy individuals. Those with existing cardiovascular disease required more personalized approaches. A meta-analysis in the European Journal of Nutrition combined results from 28 studies with over 1.7 million participants. The conclusion supported that up to 3 eggs per day is safe for healthy adults. Some studies within this analysis found benefits extending to even higher intakes. The researchers emphasized that individual variation matters significantly. Your genetics, overall diet, activity level, and existing health conditions all influence how your body responds to dietary cholesterol cholesterol. The 25 to 30% of people who are hyper-responders may need to stay closer to one egg daily. Everyone else has more flexibility. To determine your personal optimal intake, start with one egg daily for several weeks. If you have concerns, get your lipid panel tested. Most people will see no significant negative changes. Gradually increase if desired while monitoring how you feel and any relevant health markers. The preparation method affects outcomes in these studies as well. Boiled and poached eggs consistently showed the most favorable associations. Fried eggs and unhealthy oils showed weaker benefits. How you cook eggs matters nearly as much as how many you eat. You now possess information that most people will never learn about eggs. The decades of fear were based on outdated science that has been thoroughly disproven. Modern research involving millions of participants tells a completely different story. Eggs support brain function through choline. They strengthen bones with vitamin D and K2. They provide the highest quality protein available for muscle maintenance. They protect your eyesight with bioavailable carotenoids. They stabilize your blood sugar for steady energy. And consuming 1 to 3 eggs daily appears completely safe for most healthy adults. The single most important change you can make starting tomorrow is simple. Add 1 egg to your daily routine. Choose quality eggs when possible. Prepare them without excessive unhealthy fats. Eat the whole egg, including the yolk where most nutrients concentrate. This small addition could support your health in ways that compound over years and decades. The science is clear. The myths have been debunked. The only question remaining is what you will do with this knowledge. Your morning breakfast plate is waiting. What is your favorite way to prepare eggs? Whether it is scrambled, poached, boiled, or something completely different. Share your go-to egg recipe with our community. You might just inspire someone to try something new tomorrow morning. Now, we want to hear from you. How many eggs do you eat per day? And has the cholesterol myth ever stopped you from eating more? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.